Good morning and welcome to day 10 of 22 Connect. Um, Today, I would like to talk about what I call fast food healthcare and progress, not perfection. So, when I was going on and off of antidepressants for a long time. Antidepressants for me, what they would do is alleviate the intensity of the symptoms for me so that I could operate on a more normal level, and then for me I would supplement that with therapy or different forms of self-improvement, with the hope that eventually over time my entire quality of life would improve. So there was one particular time that I remember going in and my regular doctor wasn't there, and so I was seen by another doctor to get a refill, and at the time I was taking Celexa. And so we're, kind of doing a little precursory discussion about my symptoms and are they getting better and da 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 da. And this doctor, she happened to be from India, and we got to talking, and she asked me, she goes, "Well, now, are you just taking the medication or are you doing anything else?" And I said, "I am." I said, I go to see a therapist. And she said, "Good, good." And we had a whole conversation about how, and this is what I call, fast food healthcare, is that we have this whole industry or this whole pharmacological solution for our problems. And for me, I don't get better just by taking a pill. Not to mention the fact there are numerous side effects on all of those things. So a lot of research needs to be done on those too. Now, some people, like I said, it was incredibly helpful during the time. I needed it in order to raise the serotonin levels in my brain so that I could more effectively work on my coping skills, so that I could work on improving the quality of my life through behavior and thought modification. That's really kind of what has worked for me. But there, the discussion that her and I had was that a lot of people just pop a pill and think, "Oh, okay, that'll be enough." And maybe for you it is. For me, I really wanted something better. And when we were talking about it, she was also discussing how in her country they don't have as many therapists as we have here, because she said everybody's really your therapist. She goes, "You talk to your neighbors and you talk to your friends and you talk to your family and you have this whole extended community. And instead of this idea of I'm going to do it all on my own, or I'm going to bottle it up, or I'm not going to let you know that I'm having a hard time." That whole, if I ask you how you're doing today, all I want to hear is fine. I don't really want to hear your whole story. Well, that's not me. If I ask you how you're doing and you're not doing fine, I would like to know that. And I also like to surround myself with people who are interested in something more than just a "I'm fine" answer also. So that moves on to progress, not perfection for me, because with that whole idea of fast food healthcare, and I want relief, I want a solution, I want it immediately, and I don't want to make very much effort. Um, that that's very black and white thinking for me, which is a default. It's either all or nothing. And what I've had to learn over time is that that's not realistic. I'm not going, it took me, however many years or decades or a lifetime to get those established thought patterns, those established, stimuli to reaction pathways. It took me a long time to get those established. It's going to take me a long time to establish new pathways. And practice makes habit. So I kind of look at my progress over the last 20 or so years with this, with depression and anxiety and all of that, as, when you see those stock market graphs and you kind of decide like, oh, is this performing well or not? So if I had done nothing, my graph would have been either flat, we're going to stay the same, or statistically, it probably would have actually declined. It would have been, a negative return. I would have gotten worse. What has happened for me is that like progress isn't like a straight boom, 20% return, year over year investment, da 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 da, all that kind of stuff. It's not like some huge dramatic climb. It's really more like, um, you know, cobbling 2 or 3 really good days together, and then I have a bad day or two. And then I say, okay, let's regroup and let's do this again. And over time, those good days, those good moments, those good days, those good months, those good years, they're starting to increase in length. And so, whereas my quality of life, if we were going to measure it at a one, before, and it really wasn't, I'm not going to say it was a one because that actually at one point I think it really was a one. It was really bad. Um, but I've moved from there and just incrementally, and again, this is over like 20 something years. I have increased my quality of life to where, most of my days are like 8 or 9s, they're really good. And people will say, how are you doing today? And I'll say, I'm doing as well as I will allow myself to be, as much as I'm going to invest in myself. So I look for progress. I look for year over year, like maybe I'm, 2 or 3% better. But if you add that up over, 10 or 20 years, that's a very significant improvement in my quality of life. And the time's going to pass anyway, and I need to invest it in myself. So maybe some of that resonated with some of you guys, and I hope so. I hope you connect with somebody today. I'm going to go connect with my dogs and go for a walk. Take care.